Tonight, another weekend of tornadoes. What's causing this outbreak? A fundraiser in Melville raises money for 2 injured Mounties. And the Snowbirds fly one final local show in the iconic Tudor jets.
Live from our studios in Regina, this is CTV News.
Good evening. If dealing with the extreme heat wasn't enough this past weekend, some areas of Saskatchewan had to deal with severe storms. More than half a dozen tornadoes touched down, including one that caused damage in the town of Waldheim. Hallie Mandrick has more.
When Desiree Muse returned home to Waldheim after Friday night's storm, the damage was like nothing she'd ever seen before.
Pretty shocking and sad. I think the biggest thing was just seeing just the devastation here, but just knowing that our family was okay was the biggest thing for sure.
As a series of tornadoes touched down across Saskatchewan, the Waldheim area was hit hard.
I was watching that in real time, really worried about that community. There's always the chance that it's that supercell with that strong rotation is going to generate a violent tornado in EF4 or maybe even an EF5 and just wipe out a community.
Fallen trees, damaged power lines, and debris scattered throughout the community created a lot of work as the cleanup process begins. But the town's mayor says the residents of Waldheim immediately rose to the occasion.
I've been really proud of the community. They've stepped up, and within an hour you could hear the chainsaws starting up, and you could all over town they were wherever the issues were.
For Muse, it's been sad to see the destruction of her family's home, including trees that her husband planted decades ago, but she's looking forward to rebuilding.
There was 2 rows of trees here, so probably about 20 trees here they had planted. So these trees were over 40 years old, and now we'll get another chance they will come out and replant them as a family again for us. So it's sad, but we can replant them. We'll be okay.
The Waldheim community is now in the process of cleaning up and contacting insurance providers. While the restoration efforts are likely to be a lengthy process, those who spoke with CTV say the community is staying strong. Hallie Mandrick, CTV News, Waldheim.
Well, it seems like every week a tornado warning is being issued somewhere in the province. So how many twisters have actually touched down this year, and what's causing this consistent threat? Sierra D'Souza Butt reached out to the tornado experts to find out.
Oh my God!
Severe weather has been a common theme this past year in the prairies, especially this past weekend.
It's literally been a whirlwind.
Saskatchewan has witnessed 27 tornadoes so far this year, not including reports of 5 unconfirmed tornadoes from Friday and Saturday.
Not just a lot of tornadoes, but strong tornadoes as well. Ones that are able to destroy the top half of a house, for instance, and that's what we've seen with some of these tornadoes.
The cause for the drastic storms come from the recent rainfall and hot weather. Environment and Climate Change Canada saying all the ingredients were there at the right time for the perfect twister.
We had the heat, we had the moisture, we had the winds in the upper atmosphere allowing those storms to spin. And when storms can spin, that means they can get themselves organized, which means they're able to grow into storms that are possible or able to produce tornadoes.
Although the number may seem abnormal compared to previous years, Lang says this year's events of funnel clouds are typical for the season.
It's actually closer to what we usually get or what we should be getting versus what we've had over the past couple of years, which is dryness and forest fire smoke and that type of thing. This is actually closer to a regular severe weather season.
Adding, there has been more alert systems in place in the last decade to help keep track of storms and notify the public. People are encouraged to download the WeatherCan and Sask Alert apps to receive warnings, allowing you to prepare and plan accordingly in case of severe weather. Sierra D'Souza Butts, CTV News, Regina.
All right, let's go to Sabine in the Weather Center. Good news is we don't see any severe warnings out today when it comes to storms, but how are we doing temperature-wise considering we just came off that really hot weekend?
Well, most of the heat warnings have lifted, Lee, but they're still in the southeast around the Weyburn-Estevan area. We're still seeing some of those heat warnings in effect there. But temperatures got back into seasonal range for many parts of the province. However, the humidex values were still making it feel more in the mid to high 30s for many parts of Saskatchewan, especially in the south. Now, we're going to continue to see throughout the week those temperatures come back into seasonal range, which actually is about 25, 26 degrees. However, we also have rain in the forecast this week for many parts, especially southern Saskatchewan as well. I'll talk more about that coming up in your full forecast, but taking a look at the almanac there, 27 is what we got up to. Felt more like 35 for most of the day. Didn't hit any records today, and for the rest of the week, it looks like we'll be, like I said, back into that seasonal range, but I'll have all the details coming up in your full forecast. Lee?
Thank you, Sabine. RCMP are looking for a man accused of abducting a woman earlier today. 31-year-old Kevin Ross Watt is charged with kidnapping with a firearm and failing to comply with an undertaking condition. He is wanted after a 30-year-old woman was taken from a home near Makwa Lake just before about 1 o'clock this morning. She has been found, but police are still looking for Kevin Watt, who may be driving a 2009 Chevy Impala that has a damaged windshield and front bumper. Anyone who knows where he is should contact RCMP. Regina's former police chief says he looks forward to presenting his case during an appeal over his dismissal. A statement provided through Shake's lawyer said the former chief's firing from the police service was unjustified, disproportionate, and wrong. Shake was terminated with cause last year following an investigation into alleged misconduct. The appeal hearing is set for the fall. Moose Jaw police have been cleared of any wrongdoing by the province's police watchdog following an investigation into an accident that ended with a fatal rollover. It happened in November 2024 when police received a call from a driver who said they were being chased by another vehicle in the city after a fight. A police vehicle spotted the car traveling at high speeds on Main Street. The officer turned on their lights and siren, following back at a distance. The officer radioed about a minute later that the car had crashed. The driver and a passenger were taken to hospital, but a second passenger was pronounced dead. No one in the car was wearing a seatbelt. CERT found that police acted appropriately in trying to stop the vehicle and that the actions of police did not contribute to the crash. A 50-year-old man from Norquay is dead after a single vehicle rollover on Akisakous First Nation. Kamsack RCMP received a call around 12:20 in the afternoon on Sunday reporting a single vehicle rollover on Highway 8. First responders attended the scene and declared the driver, a 50-year-old man, dead on scene. RCMP continued to investigate the cause of the rollover. While the court process continues for the man accused of shooting 2 RCMP officers in Melville last month, the community itself is showing their support for the injured Mounties, holding a fundraiser on the weekend. Regina Declute was there and has details.
Hundreds showed up in Melville to express their support for 2 Mounties who were shot while responding to a call in their community last month. What started as a dispute between 2 neighbors escalated to a man shooting at the officers, leaving them with serious injuries.
We don't have a high crime rate. I think just like any other community, we have that kind of stuff. So this event, and tragic as it was, is an anomaly for our community. It's not the normal. And so I think it really shocked people.
To support the injured Mounties and their families, residents organized a barbecue and silent auction. There's strong support coming from Melville and beyond.
We just want to make sure that we're here to support the people who keep us safe in our community.
He traveled from Regina and stopped at the event en route to Yorkton. There were visitors from nearby communities like Langenberg and Ituna, but also from as far as Cambridge, Ontario.
They're coming from everywhere. We've had obviously fire departments from all over the place, different RCMP detachments, highway patrol, conservation, you name it, from everywhere.
Local first responders were spotted helping with the barbecue, serving hamburgers to a line that kept growing despite the heat. Those looking to cool down inside the CN Community Center could bid on more than 200 items.
When you go inside and look at the displays and the amount of people, what they've donated from literally across the country, it is so heartwarming to see.
All proceeds from the event will go to the 2 injured officers and their families.
Despite the grim circumstances that brought people out here today, the event was filled with gratitude and solidarity and a clear message that the community stands behind its RCMP officers. Regina Declute, CTV News, Melville.
An emotional day for Moose Jaw residents and aviation lovers on Saturday as the Canadian Forces Snowbirds, a symbol of the city, province and country, flew their final local show before the Tudor jets will be grounded. Damien Smith was there and shows us the Paramount performance.
So I'm looking forward to finally see the planes just take off.
It's a bittersweet day for 9-year-old Zachary Slater, whose love for aviation was inspired by his grandfather, who was a pilot.
They're just cool the way that they just invented in 1903 when someone decided that we needed a new way to travel.
He's among a massive crowd braving the heat at the Moose Jaw Municipal Airport for the last public performance by the Canadian Forces Snowbirds in front of their hometown crowd, at least for the foreseeable future.
It's important just to be out here and support the team. Just showing how much the team means to not only the people of Moose Jaw, but the people of Saskatchewan and Canada as a whole.
In May, the federal government announced that the Snowbirds will be temporarily grounded until at least the early 2030s after the 2026 season to allow the team's aging Tudor jets to be retired and replaced. The Moose Jaw show selling out in short time following the announcement.
I think there's some extra nostalgia here that this may be the last show for quite some time and potentially the last time to see the Snowbirds officially out of Moose Jaw.
The Snowbirds have been based out of 15-wing Moose Jaw for 55 years, forming in 1971.
Part of Moose Jaw's story being home of the Snowbirds, so it's a piece of our family that's going to be missing for quite some time.
As several local efforts play out to keep the team flying past the planned pause, whatever the future looks like for the Snowbirds, the Moose Jaw community will be keeping its eye on the sky, waiting for the next chance to see their hometown team. Damien Smith, CTV News, near Moose Jaw.
Now, at that show, there was a landing incident with one of the members of the Canadian Armed Forces Skyhawks parachute team. We have video of this. You can see here one of the parachute team members descending from the sky, finishing their performance, but lands extremely hard, bouncing off the ground. The parachutist had to be placed on a stretcher and into an ambulance. And while on a stretcher, they did signal a clapping action towards those who were in attendance. The Canadian Armed Forces said the parachutist was taken to hospital before being released later the same day, and they are now recovering. A public safety notice has been issued over a poisonous plant found along Lake Diefenbaker. The Arm of Victory says black henbane has been found in the area along the shores of the lake and extending into the grasslands around the lake. Black henbane is a high risk to people, livestock, pets and wildlife, and people are advised to not touch the plant with their bare hands. Burning or smoking the plant may also cause a hazard. Anyone who comes into contact with additional patches of black henbane in the Arm of Victory or elsewhere surrounding Lake Diefenbaker is asked to contact the RM. Still ahead, how a Saskatchewan nonprofit is helping people understand artificial intelligence. Plus, another tick-borne illness is increasing in eastern Canada. While Ottawa has set specific goals to boost the use of artificial intelligence through its new national strategy, a nonprofit here in Saskatchewan is hoping to do its part in educating the public. As Alison Banford tells us, AI Saskatchewan wants to improve AI literacy for at least 10,000 people.
Not too long ago, Alex Fallon didn't know much about artificial intelligence.
I've kind of been learning as I go.
Now he uses it every day.
I kept your last cigarette in the glove box like a relic.
Drawing inspiration for poetry in his spare time.
So I'll take what it provides and then I'll make it into my own.
And developing briefing notes and presentations at work. Fallon is the founder of Artificial Intelligence Saskatchewan, a nonprofit dedicated to growing the use of AI across the province.
Providing people with the opportunity to learn about AI gives them the chance to decide for themselves to what extent they want to use it in their home life and in their workplace.
The organization is developing a program to teach the basics of AI, what it is, what it can do, and the guardrails in place, intended as a stepping stone for beginners.
For AI to spread, more and more people need to start using it.
The program follows the release of Ottawa's national AI strategy last month that set goals of making Canadians more AI literate and boosting the number of businesses that use AI from the current 12% to 60% by 2034.
Canadians in general are quite literate.
compared to the global population, but also a little bit hesitant.
Western University's Chief AI Officer Mark Daly says hesitancy is a sign that Canadians are literate and understand AI enough to think critically of it.
I'm an educator, so of course I think the solution for hesitancy and fear is education. If you understand what it is you're dealing with, then it's easier to integrate that into your life.
AI literacy is a spectrum. Fallon says he isn't an expert, but experimenting with the tools has been one of the best ways to learn.
What could I ask it to do?
AI Sask has a goal of teaching 10,000 people, whether that's individuals, small businesses, or not-for-profits. They plan to launch their courses in the fall. Allison Bamford, CTV News, Saskatoon.
A new agreement between Alberta, the federal government, and 5 oil sands producers is paving the way for the multi-billion-dollar Pathways carbon capture project. The Pathways project is a key condition for a new West Coast oil pipeline to move ahead. The federal government says it will extend investment tax credits for carbon capture equipment until 2035, while Alberta says it will finalize its own incentives for the technology. The agreement says the Pathways project will be built in stages with a target completion date of January 2035. Lyme disease isn't the only concern when it comes to ticks. There's something called anaplasmosis. We'll find out how you say it in the story. They can be even more dangerous, this disease, if it's left untreated compared to Lyme disease. CTV's Adrian Gobriel has more on why health officials are putting the alert out now.
In tall grass and along nature trails, a growing danger is lurking. Black-legged ticks have been expanding their geographical footprint in Canada, driven in part by milder winters. And now this Canadian Medical Journal report is flagging that a number of ticks aren't just carrying Lyme disease, some are spreading anaplasmosis. While rare, the tick-borne disease can be fatal.
There have been, unfortunately, 3 or 4 deaths related to anaplasmosis in the province of Ontario in the last 1 to 2 years.
They thought that he was not going to make it.
During a long nature walk with his dogs in Halifax, Nova Scotia in July of 2022, Perry Horn believes he was bitten by a tick.
He had a high fever, so much so that the bed was shaking.
He was sent home after his first 2 trips to Dartmouth General Hospital. Doctors initially thought he had COVID, though with his health rapidly declining, he was rushed back to the ER for a 3rd visit.
I woke up, my fingers were purple. My heart and kidneys were failing.
By noon the next day, the doctor was rushing him to the ICU because he wasn't getting any better and they had no idea what was going on.
It's there in the ICU that Horn was diagnosed with anaplasmosis. The most recent national data shows there were roughly 5,800 reported cases of tick-borne illness in Canada in 2024. More than 2,300 of those cases were found in each of Ontario and Nova Scotia. More than 830 were reported in Quebec, though case counts that include anaplasmosis are now believed to be even higher.
Doctor that looked after me said I was possibly the first case in Nova Scotia.
Anaplasmosis is now the 2nd most common tick-borne illness in Canada. The Horns are sharing their story to spread awareness across the country.
Nearly took me.
I had no idea if my husband was coming out of ICU.
Federal funding for TickNet Canada that brought together doctors and researchers who are battling the rise in tick-borne diseases came to an end in March, along with vital work that was being done. The government agency responsible for the cutbacks was unable to answer our questions before our deadline. Adrian Gobriel, CTV News, Hamilton, Ontario.
One person has been killed in a shooting involving immigration agents in Maine, according to the state's House Speaker. The shooting comes less than a week after a Houston man was killed by an ICE agent during a traffic stop. The incident has renewed calls for accountability over U.S. immigration enforcement following the deaths of 2 other people during a federal operation in Minneapolis earlier this year. Canada Air firefighting planes have been deployed to help tackle a raging wildfire near Paris. The Canadian-built planes are scooping up water from the River Seine as fire crews scramble to contain the fire in the historic Fontainebleau forest. The fire has scorched 10 square kilometers, prompting evacuations and disrupting traffic. France is now experiencing peak temperatures of more than 40 degrees Celsius, while Spain, close to them, faces extreme heat, wind, and little rainfall. In the entertainment world and fans alike, mourning the death of actor Sam Neill.
We've made living biological attractions so astounding that they'll capture the imagination of the entire planet. The most phenomenal.
Yes, Jurassic Park. Neill, who was born in Northern Ireland but grew up in New Zealand, was best known for this role, Dr. Alan Grant. In 2023, Neill revealed he had been diagnosed with a form of lymphoma. However, his family stated he was cancer-free at the time of his death and did not specify a cause. Sam Neill was 78 years old. Coming up, Country Thunder wraps up in Craven. How did campers enjoy this year's version of the show?
Tuesday on Your Morning Saskatchewan, temperatures might have cooled off, but hot weather is continuing to impact much of Saskatchewan. Tune in for tips on beating the heat.
Just confirming with Director Alex if this weekend felt like it was a million years long, and he said yes. So 2 days, perhaps it was the heat, perhaps it was all the events that were happening this weekend. It felt like a very long weekend. It was just 2 days of extreme heat as well, especially in southern Saskatchewan. But the good news is we've seen the heat warnings start to lift. We still have a few areas in the southeast under the heat warnings, which hopefully we'll start to see clear out heading into tomorrow. Currently, we're sitting at 27 degrees in Regina, feeling closer to about 33 with the humidity there. But this is what we're looking at for our watches and warnings. I mean, I don't want to jinx it, but it looks very clear and nice on the province, except for that little area in the southeast. Much of Manitoba and Ontario under those heat warnings now. And as we head into this week for Saskatchewan, we basically are just having to worry about some rain that's on the way. Not expecting a whole lot, but there is still some on the way, and we'll see most of it coming through southern Saskatchewan. Then there is a system that will come through parts of northern Saskatchewan. But this is what we're looking at heading into this evening. A little bit of that cloud cover starting to roll in, and most of Tuesday looking okay. It's not until we get into later in the day, well, 6 a.m. is not later in the day, but we'll start to see that rain tomorrow morning coming through parts of the south there. Assiniboia is starting to see that rain. And then later into Tuesday, by the evening, we start to see more of that rain arrive from the southwest. So Maple Creek, Swift Current seeing some rain. Saskatoon will start to see some rain. And most of this rain is Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. Regina expecting to see some rain. Estevan, Weyburn, Yorkton. For Yorkton, expecting to see most of that rain throughout most of the day Wednesday. As of right now, it looks like Yorkton could see a little bit more in terms of rainfall totals. My models, I've looked at 3 or 4, and they're all not matching and syncing up. So hopefully I'll have a better updated number heading into tomorrow. But as of right now, it does look like Yorkton could see up to about 10 millimeters of rain once all of that rain clears out from Wednesday morning into Wednesday night. You can see more of that rain expected for Wednesday night in the Parkland. Regina also continuing to see some rain. As of right now, it looks like about 2 to 4 millimeters of rain for many other parts of southern Saskatchewan, and that includes areas around Estevan, Swift Current, Regina, Maple Creek. So rain continuing as we get into Thursday. We'll still see some scattered precipitation, cloudier conditions as well Thursday, but temperatures remaining within that seasonal range, anywhere between 25, 27 degrees for daytime highs. You can see that right there on your screen for parts of northern Saskatchewan. A lot of that sunshine continuing for the north, but North Battleford, Saskatoon seeing mostly cloudy conditions. 26 for North Battleford, Saskatoon 27, and Yorkton a mix of sun and cloud 27. The southwest mostly cloudy, 28 degrees for Maple Creek, Swift Current, and Moose Jaw. In the southeast, similar story, 28 degrees across the board, a little bit more sunshine for the southeast. And for Regina, 17 tonight, so still a warm night tonight, warming up to, it's climbing up to 28 degrees tomorrow with the winds up to about 30 kilometers an hour. And here's a look at what we've got coming up. Not the Rider game. This is what I mean by a really rough weekend for me. You know what? Well, the Rider game is coming. It already passed. But we have temperatures starting at 28 degrees, 23 on Wednesday. And then as we continue into the rest of the week, we will see those temperatures getting back into seasonal range. So we have a little bit more of those temperatures coming back down. We don't have to worry about the humidity levels because we don't have those heat warnings. Today's felt very weird.
So no Rider game Wednesday. They're on a bye week. so we don't have to worry about that.
Correct.
But you were at the Rider game on Sunday.
Maybe
so
that's what I'm feeling.
Then.
It's the heat.
Yeah.
It was very hot, and it was, you know what, for all the fans, especially on the sunny side, who stuck around, kudos to them. But there was a lot of water being used there. We had a lot of hydration stations, which I'm glad to see people were staying hydrated.
You got to stay hydrated, but I'm craving too. So.
It's a hot weekend all around.
Ah, yes. Tough day to be outside. Thank you, Sabine. Yes, that extreme heat could not keep the music fans away from Craven as thousands attended Country Thunder. But after 3 days of main stage magic, it was time for campers to head home today. Erica Matarash has more.
With another year of Country Thunder Saskatchewan in the books, campers and staff packed up and left Craven Monday morning. For some campers we spoke with, it's the heat they'll remember most about this year's Jamboree.
It's very hot. Cooled off quite a bit today. Now we're ready to get out of here. Rehydrating. Had a good time.
Festival goers coming in from across the province and beyond, some already looking forward to next summer for more big-name country acts and long days in the sun.
I will be here next year. Again, Thursday to Monday, I would do the whole thing again, I feel like.
RCMPs say they responded to 177 calls during Country Thunder this year. Sergeant Evan Gordon with Saskatchewan RCMP saying in a news release that it was a successful weekend. Large-scale events like Country Thunder require a collective commitment to safety, and largely speaking, we saw that throughout the weekend. Organizers say the turnout is a sign the event continues to resonate with country music fans year after year.
We're so thrilled that Saskatchewan and beyond came out to support us, and we hope that everyone had a great weekend. We love putting this event on, and we can't wait to be back next year.
From live music to late nights in the campground, many say it's the atmosphere that keeps them coming back.
I just want to say from the bottom of my heart.
As for next year's lineup, organizers say to stay tuned for an announcement this fall about who will take the stage in 2027. Erica Matarash, CTV News, Craven.
Well, for almost a century, Regina radio station 620 CKRM has been entertaining listeners across the province. And this month, the station does celebrate 100 years, an impressive feat considering many other Canadian legacy stations have signed off the air. A former employee, Wayne Mantica, takes us on a trip back through time.
620 CKRM, the voice of Saskatchewan. I'm Colin Lovequist. Welcome to Number Ones at 1.
620 CKRM is one of Saskatchewan's original radio stations. It has been on the air since July 27th, 1926.
It was the Richardson and Sons that started CJRM, and it was a stock ticker station. So they were just reporting about the stocks and the markets.
It has long been a city station with a country focus. Most of the staff grew up in rural areas, and that has shaped the on-air style. Perry Nias has worked at CKRM the longest, at 42 years.
I fell in love with the idea of talking to one person on the other side of the radio, wherever that person was. So I would never say good morning, Saskatchewan. I'd always say good morning.
8-11, Willie Cole, Jamie Lewis, as we wind up a career of a lifetime for me here.
Familiar voices have contributed to CKRM's success during an era when other Canadian legacy stations on the AM dial have signed off the air.
In the news, there was another bank robbery in North Regina.
Everybody talks about community, everybody talks about local, but if you actually don't practice it, you're not going to survive. And that's just the reality of the business. And that's something that's been part of 620 CKRM's success.
CKRM attributes its longevity to three main pillars: country music, farm news, and sports, a formula that it plans to carry through into the future. Wayne Mantica, CTV News, Regina.
On 620 CKRM.
Still ahead, a historic weekend for Cardiff's Carter Beck, selected 26th overall by Atlanta in the Major League Baseball draft.
Here's what's happening in our community. The Classic Car Show is happening in Regina on July 17th at 5 p.m. at the Southland Mall. For more information, you can email FridayNightsClassic@hotmail.com. The community market will be held in Esterhazy on July 17th at 701 Park Avenue. For more details, email Renee Anderson 76@gmail.com. Submit your event to our community by visiting our website, ctvregina.ca, and click Community Calendar or scan the QR code on your screen.
Head coach Corey Mace didn't just help bring a Grey Cup title to Riderville, he also brought consistency. In every one of his 3 seasons here, the Riders have started off 4-1. That, of course, concludes this year after the Green and White dismantled the Ticats team without Bo Levi Mitchell. Donovan Mace has more on the victory heading into a bye week.
After waiting patiently for the ball to come their way,
Saskatchewan sends 4 to Legala, picked off just inside the 5 by Woods.
the Rider defense breaking out in the turnover column.
Woods to the 15. Will they catch him?
And in a big way.
From his friends, and he's gone.
What's going through your mind as that end zone gets closer and closer and closer? Oh, thank God.
Coming into Sunday's matchup with the Tiger Cats, Saskatchewan had generated just 3 turnovers, worst in the CFL.
When this is intercepted, 1, 2, 3, 4 defenders.
Facing former Rider quarterback Jake Dolagalo, the Rough Riders defense creating chances and making the most of their opportunities.
Once they start to come, it was going to be a storm of them, and I mean, we should have had even more, honestly. But it was great, and the energy that it brought, that was good football we played tonight.
Along with Woods' interception, the Riders forcing 2 fumbles, recovering 1, adding 2 third down stops, a total of 4 takeaways. But even more important, scoring 27 of their 38 points off those turnovers.
We have to take advantage. Turnovers has been something that, you know, we wanted to improve on over the past 4 games. So just it feels good going into the bye to be able to, you know, put some turnovers together.
Keeping the ball in the offense's hands and the pressure off their backs.
Our defense created those turnovers and, you know, really set up the scores, you know, with the pick 6 and the fumble down to the 1. So essentially 2 defensive touchdowns. And so it was really complimentary football. It was good stuff.
The football God said, all right, we'll start playing in your favor. We've been talking about it. It might not be an interception. We might have to, you know, force the ball out, punch the ball out.
Saskatchewan now gets some much-needed rest with a bye in Week 7. When they return, however, back-to-back games against the Edmonton Elks, the team they are tied with atop the West Division await them on the other side. Donovan May, CTV News, Regina.
Saskatchewan baseball history on the weekend as Carnduff's Carter Beck heard his name called in the Major League Baseball draft.
With the 26th pick of the 2026 MLB draft, the Atlanta Braves select Carter Beck, an outfielder from Indiana State University.
They're booing the commissioner, folks. Beck going 26th overall to the Atlanta Braves, and there's the reaction from the watch party in Carnduff. Becomes the highest ever player from Saskatchewan selected in the Major League Amateur Draft. The Indiana State University product telling MajorLeagueBaseball.com, coming from small town Saskatchewan didn't necessarily make the path easy, but all the worthwhile.
It's always been a grind for me coming from where I'm from, playing multiple sports in high schools, going to Division II out of college, then transferring up to the Division I. It's always kind of just been head down, play baseball, and when the people catch up and recognize you, they'll recognize you, and just trust in the process. And the big thing I've always said that keeps me going is trying to be a role model for the Saskatchewan kids and show them that you come from a town of 1,000 an hour away from a city, that you can go out and still do big things. You can still get to places. You don't need to come the same route that everybody else comes from. And I kind of take that as a big thing I play for and kind of my big reason why I keep pushing so hard.
Beck played 2 seasons with the Saskatoon Berries in 2024 and 25. Also becomes the first former Berry to be selected in the Major League Baseball draft. And a 2026 Calgary Stampede Rangeland Derby concluded Sunday night with Saskatchewan's Jamie Lebouquin capturing his first ever championship.
I'm still taking it in. I kind of kept calm and composed till I crossed that finish line, and then it kind of hit me, and I'm just riding a high right now. Enjoy it while it lasts, because, you know, these times are fleeting.
He also defeated 2-time champion Jason Glass by 2.09 seconds and was one of the strongest drivers throughout the week. He posted the fastest time on 5 of the 10 nights of racing. It was just his 2nd consecutive appearance in the championship final heat. from St. Walburg, Saskatchewan. Still ahead, Regina police need your help to catch a set of shoplifters.
All right, we're going to take a look at your rural forecast real quick. I do want to say hello to Faye and Carol Lee. Faye and Carol watch us every evening, and they said hello at Craven, so I wanted to make sure I said hello to them. So we're going to take a look at our rural forecast, and we're going to continue to see temperatures back into the seasonal range. A little bit more cloud cover starting to roll in, but we won't really see that affected for areas like Hudson Bay, mainly sunny at 28. A little bit more cloud cover over in Kindersley, 27, and for Watrous at 27. Mainly sunny for Meadow Lake at 26, 26 also for Melfort and Lloydminster and Wynyard, and 25 for Spiritwood. If we get closer to the southern border, temperature is pretty much the same. A little warmer for Coronach, 29 degrees there. 28 mostly cloudy for Leader and Maple Creek. Assiniboia and Rockland, 28, and Pilot Butte and Lumsden. And over in the southeast, 27 for Carlisle and Broadview. If we take a closer look at Beachy, located about 260 kilometers northeast of Maple Creek, and where internet speeds up to 1 gig are available through SaskTel. Tomorrow, 27 degrees, a mix of sun and cloud. The 27 will feel closer to 33 tomorrow, so for the Beachy area, it's going to be a hot and muggy day.
The incidents happened between April the 26th, 2026 and May the 9th of 2026 on the 2000 block of Aurora Boulevard. 5 different people who seem to be working together have stolen several $1,000s worth of merchandise from a certain business. These pictures are of each of the 5 suspects believed to be involved. If you know who any of these 5 people are, call Crime Stoppers.
I'm Constable Dana Adams with the Regina Police Service. Crime Stoppers will pay up to $2,000 cash reward for information on this or any other serious crime in Regina. Callers do not have to identify themselves. Calls are not traced or recorded. In Regina, Saskatchewan, and Canada, call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-TIPS. That's 1-800-222-8477. You can also access our website at www.reginacrimestoppers.ca. Remember, our community suffers when you remain silent. Please report crime.
Crime Stoppers is brought to you by Leak Audiology, helping you live well with better hearing.
Yorkton's Mayor Aaron Kinley is missing tonight's council meeting. Why? He's attending an event in New York City. He's participating at Canada's side event for the UN High-Level Political Forum on Sustainable Development. Now, the mayor appeared at a panel about social policy and infrastructure alongside former Vancouver Mayor and Minister of Housing and Infrastructure Gregor Robertson. In his speech, the mayor identified the city's aging wastewater treatment plant as a bottleneck for growth.
Again, we're supporting the region, we're supporting our province and country in food processing, and we simply don't have the tax base, as many smaller communities and smaller cities don't have the tax base to pay for major infrastructure. So we're looking at,
He added that he hopes the federal and the provincial governments will be partners in the project, which is estimated to cost between $200 to $300 million. A new 7-acre plot of land will be a notable gathering spot in Regina's East End. On Sunday, Dream Developments held their grand opening for Maca Park, which will include an accessible playground. This playground is the first that falls under the city's new accessibility policy. The construction of the park amounted to about $2.2 million. Other areas of accessibility for those in wheelchairs are the swings, as well as panels on other parts of the park. Let's look at your farm market boards. Canola street price up $6.60 to $737.05 per ton, while the futures price is up $9 to $789 per ton. Amber Durum wheat, $285.20 per ton. Red Spring wheat's up 84 cents to $291.01 per ton. Feed barley, $251.59 per ton. And flax, shocker, didn't move. $630.54 per ton. Prices courtesy of Bunge and Ice Futures Canada. The markets, the TSX down 52 points, the Dow Jones down by 138 points. As for the dollar, it went up very slightly, 1/100% to 70.64 cents US. On the commodity front, gold up 6 cents. West Texas Intermediate crude up $6.73, while Western Canadian Select crude actually dropped by 36 cents. And gas in Regina, it's a little cheaper elsewhere, but in Regina, it's at $1.68.9 per liter.
Dongfeng is a state-owned car maker. It's in the process of certifying its cars in Canada. The company wants to bring 2 of its models to this country by next year. It's one of several Chinese companies trying to break into the market after the Prime Minister decided to allow up to 49,000 Chinese-made EVs to be sold here at a lower tariff rate. 12 states are trying to stop Paramount Skydance from acquiring Warner Brothers Discovery. The lawsuit's being led by California, but includes New York, New Jersey, and Arizona. The states argue the merger would lead to higher prices and lower quality film and television. Together, Paramount and Warner would control about 1/3 of films and about 1/3 of TV programming. The CEO of Volkswagen is raising the possibility of cutting another 50,000 jobs. That would be on top of the 50,000 layoffs already planned as part of a cost-cutting measure. Volkswagen sales have fallen in China, and its production in Germany is being hit by American tariffs. VW also owns Porsche and Audi and currently employs about 657,000 people around the world. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
Coming up tonight after the newscast, we have everyone's favorite game show, The Quiz with Balls. Followed by well, it's kind of a game show, but it's more of a test of might. America Ninja Warrior at 8 o'clock, and there's balls in that too. And Big Bang Theory at 10 and E-Talk at 10:30. All right, Saskatoon Forestry Farm, Park and Zoo. Welcoming a pretty cute new addition.
That's right. This male caribou was born on June 25th, weighing 9.4 kilograms, or about 20 pounds, and has since grown to just under 13 kilograms, or about 28 pounds. The calf has been named Lyle Petrie in honor of a man who worked for several years at the Western College of Veterinary Medicine, who died earlier this year. Lyle, the caribou, and his mother are being cared for behind the scenes and are expected to explore their habitat this week.
How small is Lyle?
Guy.
I mean, it's tough to judge. Well, maybe comparing with
a little nugget.
Yeah, wow.
Well, a 30-pound nugget, I guess, now, but still.
It's a lot of nugget.
All right, well, you never know what kind of hazards you will face on a Metro Vancouver golf course.
Look at my clubs, man. Look at that.
A golfer captured video of a bear running off with a golf bag over the weekend. It happened at Golden Eagle Golf Club in Pitt Meadows. That's east of Vancouver.
There's another bear.
Yeah, bear drags the bag into the bushes, likely trying to find a safe place to search for its snacks.
There's probably snacks in that golf bag.
You can even, well, there is. I'll guarantee you what there is in there. A sandwich.
I hate you.
How freaky would that be, though? Seeing a bear on a course.
Would you? Okay, I understand golf clubs are expensive. Would you chase after the clubs?
No. There was when we were golfing in Grey Wolf. It's called. It's by Panorama. There's always a bear on the course, and they tell you bear on course, and they tell you which hole, and
Yeah,
you kind of
just
like
go play there. Safety first. Go eat something.
You barely golf.
At a restaurant. I don't golf.